Start it. Get out. Get out. Oh gosh. Alright guys. Okay guys. So was starting. Who is there? Who is there? Who is there? Who is there? Okay guys, so back. We're back into this section stream. Alright. Oh, we're just kickstarting and whoa, welcoming every single person for joining our live stream section today this afternoon. Okay, really appreciate the fact for joining and taking for granted. It's going to worth your time and thanks for joining us. And in today's live stream section, okay, let's do more of welcoming for let's do a lot of welcoming because this is more like our audience. So I welcome, okay. I welcome every single person for the fact if you're referring us and maybe you're returning viewers, if this is your first time of seeing us, any viewer that you already regard the fact that you joined and is not in any way take it for granted. So thanks for joining the session, thanks for joining our stream, and we're more to learn as well. So alright guys, so we're more like starting. Okay, we're more like starting and firstly, maybe I should introduce myself. Maybe for the sake of people that are seeing me for the first time, this is UFGRAPHICS, and what we're doing, or let's just say what we've been doing so far, is just more like teaching students, guiding students, telling them, opening their eyes to see things beyond what classroom is teaching, making them understand the realities, the real reality, because there is what they call life and they call real reality. So it's more like showing them the path, and it's more like a hidden path track that people are not seeing, because if they are seeing it, they shouldn't be, or let's just say they won't be a victim of what it brings. So it's just more like that, and it's more like opening their eyes to really see what it's that is like what is awaiting them and maybe what they should prepare for. Actually, so this is more like let's say the map, or let's just say the track that we are really taking in our live stream section. And what's our aim, like without having any aim, our priority or our goal or what we prioritize most is to really see all these youths, adults, young adults, undergraduate and graduate students really succeeding, because it seems as if or that thing that people are saying school is a scam, school is a scam, is not actually a scam. What made this look like is a scam is just when our young adults, okay, sorry guys, welcome. Okay, people just joined. This you have graphics, thanks for joining the live stream section. I really appreciate the fact. All right, just follow us along, and we'll just start. Thanks for joining, anyways. It's going to watch your time. See, that was saying something. I said, more like our goods. What was said for is just to help our young returning and then what's life after school really means. Do you get? Hi, I'm seeing you. Greetings. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Yes, it's afternoon. Learning this section, I appreciate the facts. All right, let's just proceed. I was saying something. Okay, I said we're more like sent on a strict, what's it called, on a strict rule or whatever, on a strict mission, let me be safe to say so, to or inculcate the knowledge or that a life after school brutal one, because it's a brutal one in the sense of they are not seeing it, nobody's talking about it, they don't even see or think that is necessary to be or talked about. And this in question is it's silently killing, or less it's silently, what's it called, leading our youth into trouble. What I mean there is just like when they are not past the knowledge, when they are not guided. Mind you, life is more like personal stuff, it's more like you figuring out things by yourself, it's more like you taking out responsibility, carry on things, making appropriate plans, like cashing for yourself. That's more like life. And mind you, if our young adults are not informed, maybe when they take what's it called, that leaving of school, because school is more like structured. Do you get? When you're in school, you're going to be issued a timetable, calendar stuff. You're going to be informed on exam. You're going to be guided. I've seen, but real life it's said to be no for that. Like you're all to figure out it. And this is why you said life after school is very, very brutal. Have you seen this where it originates from is brutal because most of them are not aware of this. Most of them don't even know or feel that it's very, very difficult outside. And this is why you still see people that graduated with awesome results being stuck, being underpaid, being taking any work just to earn a living, just because that's at that point in time, certificate is not the problem. What should really, or let's just say, what the problem is, they were not informed. And mind you, if you're not informed on any particular thing, you're probably disformed. So most of them, safe to say that most of them were probably disformed on the matter of life after school, and we don't want more of that. And this is actually what is leading our graduated students are not ending well. Most of them are not ending well because of this. And the illiterate people, or let's say people that were not opportune to go to school, and they're like seeing it from this view. If this thing is actually working, these people wouldn't be underpaid, they wouldn't be suffering. So it's not actually the school is not actually the problem. The problem is information, and when you don't have the right information, you're going to stumble. Have you seen it? So we're more like to it's also more like an agency stream sections to our remaining young adult Nigerian students undergraduate, because it has affected a lot of people already, and we don't want it to exceed that. So that's more like our objective, what we prioritize. So that's for that. And in today's section stream, we have a powerful topic to really trick on. And before we head over to that, okay, maybe for the sake of people that are just joining, I really appreciate the fact you joined this UFGRAPHICS, and thanks for joining the section. And we're still proceeding, we just started. All right, so if we're really going to talk about what we have today, as I said, we have a vital topic. And before that, we did the live stream section yesterday. We stream every day, and that we started the topic actually yesterday. And sorry guys, maybe for the sake of people that we are not opportune to join, maybe I should just introduce the topic, then say a few things, then we'll get to what we really have today. Okay, if I'm to do that, okay. Yesterday's live stream section stream. Yesterday's live stream session stream, I don't know. Okay. Yesterday's live stream session stream was brutal truth about Nigerian students. And mind you, I said what was sent for is more like to help students. Do you get? School is not teaching this. School is going to teach how to pass your exam, how to make good grades, how to follow rules, how to obey. Do you get? But all these things, every section stream we're doing here is more like outside life knowledge, and it's called life skills. It's a skill because you really need it. And the skill, I mean, both mental and emotional, like all aspect of skill that you really need to navigate in real life, is what we're talking about here. And that is why we call it like, okay, it's just like the pillar, or let's just say the main stuff of everything we was doing here. What is really pointing at is the big truth. Okay, is it? So we're making topic sections on it, pointing towards it to actually relate that fact, and we're clearing students' minds, and we're more like opening their eyes, not to put fear actually, but to make them see something and to unlearn. I've seen, so it's going to make them to see something in a different view more than an average student is seeing it. They will think it's going to increase their capacity. Like it makes them to really know, yeah, or more this place school, because there is this two type of mindset that people enter school with. People feel that, or a lot of youth feels that it's a relaxation place. People think that it's a place to feel reluctant and while they wait time. Now if you live, or if you write that mindset, it is going to lead you to trouble, because you're going to neglect a lot of things. You're going to feel and think that a lot of things is not necessary. Meanwhile, I just that to explain that, but that's that. I've not come to that yet. Okay, brutal truth about Nigerian students. That was yesterday's session stream. I will just say a few things, maybe for the sake of people that did not join, and maybe if it interests you, you just check it out. It's not a problem. Okay, yesterday's session stream was many students think. Okay, sorry. I just introduced the topic. I'll just say a few things. I don't want to start saying everything now. The brutal truth about Nigerian students, and we're like telling students one thing that, okay, at first we said there is this mindset that people are still having, and we said it's more like outdated one. Outdated one will mean that saying that go to school, earn good certificates, go earn good job, you're a successful person, is not working now. It's more like outdated. So a lot of students, it's very, very painful that a lot of students are still having that mindset, are still riding on that, are still believing on that. People is outdated. Everything is changing, the world is changing, everything is getting advanced. Oh, sorry, I mean advanced, like everything is getting digitalized, and everything is really old model to really teach. Mind you, all this, most of the school structures and ways they are teaching, some things that have structures that have been built over 20, 30 years ago. But real life is really changing. School is not changing. Now, let me explain that fact. What I really mean there is just like most things now is being practicalized. Real life requires practicals. And gone are the days when it's just like people are not buying product, they are buying solutions. Now, for the fact that someone is going to purchase your goods, if you're checking it from the part of view or goods, it really means that such goods has a solution. I've seen this, that is actually a solution. Now he or she purchased it because there is value, he or she is gaining something from it. So the same thing applicable to, or what's it called, employers, if we're relating it to matter of, because this is actually, we're referring to undergraduate students, and most of them are actually going to be employed by some of the organizations tomorrow. So we're more like opening their eyes to really see things that real life requires practical. Now, and we said school is using outdated stuff because more of the things are still being, it's just more like theoretical aspects. School is still teaching a lot of theoretical aspects, sometimes limited practical, and it said that real life requires practical. And when students are not being taught, when they are not being told, if they are not guided, they are going to come out looking stuck. Now imagine when you happen to go to an organization, and okay, now let's just assume someone studied accounting. Let me just practicalize, let me just paint a picture. Someone studied accounting, and it happens to, or you studied theoretical, you passed your exam awesomely. No, like, no, nothing, you passed awesomely. I happen to be in an organization, and you were assessed, you got a first class. Hmm, sharp. And during the process there is what they call recruitment and assessing before giving you a work, whatever. So you're going to be assessed. Now during your process, the assessment was maybe through machines, maybe through equipment. So such place, your certificate is being dropped, like it's irrelevant at that moment. So what really works, or what really shows, or what really qualify you is your innate abilities, what you can really give, the kind of problem you can create, things you can really solve. So this is just beyond certificate. That's what I'm trying to bring to the view. Like it's just beyond what you have in your book, or like what you obtain. It now has to do with you being a valuable source, you being a valuable asset. Like that is it. And this is a kind of what we're emphasizing on, really, on that live stream session. So we really said a lot, and mind you, I said it's not for today's section, that was this day, and I'm dropping there. And maybe if it interests you, just check more, like you just check on just a previous session before this one. We really said a lot. So on that note, we're getting to what you have today mainly. Oh Jesus, okay, we're getting to what you have today. And if we're to talk about what we have today, today's section, like I said, I did not use the thumbnail. I created the thumbnail, use it after this session. I just decided to use my face, I don't know, but I'll put the thumbnail of the topic later. Okay, today's session live stream topic is okay, just like, okay, 10 things, okay, just like 10 mistakes every Nigerian student must avoid. Today's section, I'm going to be a kind of pointing out 10 things. Now if you're a Nigerian student, if you're a student anywhere you're watching from, you really need to avoid this to navigate the outside life, the life after school, or really referring to, because it's if you fail not to have these skills, if you fail not to have this knowledge, it's more like knowledge they say this power. Now if you know better, you live better. And when you fail to or align, when you fail to know all of this, you're actually going to be disformed in it, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and that is something that we don't want for you. And that's why we're making this session. So on that note, I have 10 things, 10 mistakes that every Nigerian student is just more like must, because your life is important. We love you. Have you seen this? So it's just like things that you're probably going to avoid to actually navigate through. Now, at first, Okay, we said believing a degree automatically guarantees success. Now I'll break it down. Mind you, everything we're saying here is like 10 mistakes you should avoid. Now we said number one is believing a degree automatically guarantees success. Now is a mindset that you believe, and mind you, what you believe actually guides your step. It guides how you reason, how you react, how you even or get into that more. Now at first we need to change that believing. That's why we say believing is actually a problem. It's a problem in the sense of you're believing it. And what we're really hammering on 10 mistakes every you this is part of it and you're going to be avoiding it. That's why you said believing a degree automatically guarantees success is erroneous and is a no-no now. Now that is why I said it's more like outdated stuff when people feel that results, certificate, school, it's enough. It's not enough. This why you if it's enough now, let me ask, if it's really enough, why do we still see graduated students with good results being underpaid? Most of them are looking confused. I've seen it, so it really pains, and this is why we really need to get to the root. And the root is things that they are not being informed about. Okay, now I'm going to correct the mindset. As I said, believing a degree automatically guarantees success. Now as I said, real world has changed. It requires skills, practical skills. Now when you know something and you cannot practicalize, you cannot like work it out, is not making sense. So that is it here. Now carrying a big certificate, that is the believing that your degree, carrying a big certificate, or you believing that this certificate can give me everything I want. This certificate, once I'm done with school, it's going to figure itself out. Like I should just that to explain that. But this is a mindset that people are really hoping on, and it's very very painful because you will still see young people telling you that I'm going to work with my certificate, it's going to, oh Jesus, like you'll be imagining, because they don't really know this thing, and it really pains because this is years, resources, time that they are wasting. Now imagine after the whole stress they are still going to face real life. Oh, we don't want that, make una no go die abeg. So that is it, and this is the wrong mindset, and we're more like the advice there is just more like telling students, yes, certificate is okay, but it's not enough in real life. Now it cannot run you enough. And if we even to add to that, you just still advise students, get to learn skills, get to start up small business, get to like just get to think acai bowls, like get to, it's just more like development. Do you get? It's just more like getting competent in a lot of things, because only certificate is going to keep you one place. Like you're going to be stuck. We don't want that for you. All right. So that is the emphasis. Number two. Hope you're noting that, and if you can comprehend, I'm giving a thumbs up. But if you still pen, if you want, if like if you feel to pen down, it works best. Okay, we said not learning any skills in school. Actually, this is another challenge or another mistake you should avoid. Mind, every time I'm saying here is just like mistakes to avoid, and I say 10. I have up to 10 here. Now I'm going to be breaking it down after the mentioning. So I said not learning any skill is okay. Not learning any skill in school. Now this is dealing with now all these students that prioritize their result. First grade, second grade. I'm still a student. All of us prioritize good grades, but it said that depending on your certificates alone, wholeheartedly, with all your soul, all your spirit, all your like, it's not okay. It's not okay because it's just like putting all your whole eggs in a particular basket. And mind you, when it fails, you're clashed. When it fails, now when it fails in the sense of maybe you made first class and your whole life, or what's it called, idea, or whatever you're thinking is to work, and peradventure you were not opportune to get work, you were not opportune to be employed by government, you are left with nothing. Despite with your business certificate, you don't have anything, and life is going to be real like at that point in time, because you don't have any support system, nothing to beckon on, no support system, no plan B, like no income stream. Is really stuck, and we know how it feels, so we don't really want that for you. So that is it. That is believing a degree. Okay, that is not learning any skill. Mind you, sorry. Now okay, okay, if okay, the that's okay, the mistake is them not learning any skill, and the problem is it's not always okay, because it's going to lead into problem when your a, or what's it called, plan A fails. if you don't have a support system, you don't have a plan B, that is, maybe you don't have skill that can fetch you money, you don't have any business, do you get? So it's not always okay, and it can really frustrate. So we don't want that for you. Okay, guys, so we're heading to what we have next. We said choosing the wrong friends. Will I point to female particularly or specifically? I don't know. Let me not focus on any gender. I'm just being neutral. It's generally now, if you're referring friends and you were talking to undergraduate students and young youths outside and maybe NYC students, because even if you're even if you're late, even if you're still getting this knowledge late, it has its way of shaping your path back. I've seen it, it has its way of amending some things. You can equally amend. Since you're still alive, there is still possible way you can really amend things. So you're not left out. I'm talking about life after school problems, and I said 10 mistakes that every Nigerian student must avoid. Now, this is mistakes that you really need to avoid to navigate the process of life, because it's really requisites that you navigate. And when you navigate, that is the success. I don't just do, but I'm just being real. Okay, what we have next is choosing the wrong friends. I mentioned friends and I said it's both genders. Now, friends, they said friends determine who you become, it determines who you do not become. And your friends most times has some parts or play some roles in your personal decisions. And this is why we tell people to actually, good friends are okay, but there is this limitation. I don't know, like there is this boundary you still need to have. Do you get? So this is why and mind you, if you're trying to picked a picture of what friends and how it affects someone's life to university student, we address it, or let's just say we tell them that okay, it's just like you knowing what is good for you, and that's first. You choosing a person as your friend, you really know the person, you really know the effect or what the person is conversant and what the person derive joy in doing. Now you're expected to really know if it work best for you, or you're not or what's it called, conversant with it or comfortable with it. Have you seen? So you ought to really, and and just, there's no advice for this also. The advice, or let's just say the lesson here is just to know the type of friends you choose, because most times it affects you and most times it's building. Just like when your friends is not building you, they are going to destroy you. Like if if you get influence or if you get contact with mediocre people, like the same is going to come to you. So, and as well, if you associate with wise people, you're probably going to become wiser. Actually, so this is more like interchangeable, and it's more like, I don't know, it's just more like option. Do you get? So but we're more like telling students to be, I don't know, be good students. So that is it. Okay, we start again. Wasting too much time on social media. This one, you could talk to you like there's no even how you explain it. We said part of, I think, number 4, wasting too much time on social media. Now we're referring to students at first, and it's very very obvious now nowadays, or currently, or let's just say let's just know. At first, let's get the purpose of social media, or if we're able to ask what is the origin, like why was it created. Now, at first, okay, from what was seen, or let's just say from our primary view, we may say that social media is just maybe a website created maybe for friends to interact, share memories, and maybe get to interact maybe through different locations. Like from a simple view, you can say just that's just the primary purpose of social media, but is really causing more harm than good now. And the problem is not the social media, the problem is the usage, how people use it. Mind you, too much of everything is bad, proven everywhere. Too much of everything is bad. And now I said social media is not the problem. The problem is the usage, how people use it. How you use it determines, like it's possible of building your soul. It has the ability to destroy your soul. Now it's focused on the usage. How you use it really matters. Now, how you use the social media really matters is just like, okay, nowadays we have students. We're referring to students, so we won't stop calling students name. I really want our students to end well. So that is our priority. Now we said students are scrolling 8 4 5 6 hours daily. Mind you, students, okay, if we're even talking about students in matter of social media, it should be a place to build brand. It should be a place to create content. Like you should be the one they are watching, not you watching. Now you should be the creator, then others should be the consumer. I've seen even okay, if we're really talking about social media to students, they should be the creators. Then grand people should be the consumers, because this is more like you're growing. You really need to utilize it. Do you get? This is future. If you misuse it, it's the if the effect is going to really show on you. It's going to show on your life. It must reflect. And we're talking about social media, and we said usage is also not always okay, mind you, because it's going to affect you in your academics. You're still a student now. We said a lot of students neglect their things that they are doing. Most of them, okay, just like it's more like an entertainment. Most of them will be like, let me just watch for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Now that 10 minutes is going to turn to 30 minutes. 30 minutes return to 4 hours. Like before you know it, the whole day has gone, and they have not even achieved a particular thing on that day. I've seen how the usage is the problem, not really the social media, the usage. Now that usage is a wrong word, and it's okay. Now if such a student, okay, now let's just imagine. Yeah. Greetings, how are you? Good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Is it afternoon? I do. Oh, thanks for joining the session stream. How will I put it? Is it like this or like this? Oh, thanks for joining the session stream. I appreciate the fact. And thanks for joining anyway. So we're talking or we're elaborating on something, and we're more like proceeding. All right. So just continue with us. Continue with us. Maybe later you stream and get everything we've been saying before now. All right, guys. So let's just proceed. I said okay. I forgot what I was saying. Okay. I was saying okay, too much usage of social media. I said social media is not the problem. The problem is the usage, and the usage referring to how people use it, how they get to make use of it, how they get to use it on their daily activities. And we said it has a good side, positive side, and positive side we mean is when you're really utilizing it, when you're really using it to create value, when you're really using it to solve a problem. And there is a lot to do. That is why we said it can build you, it can also destroy you. Now a lot of things is being done in social media. You can learn with it, you can learn new languages, you can go for online skills, you can be what's it called, a ghostwriter, you can develop a lot of things through internet. And this internet, thank God, is in this our generation. Let's say generation, because we were lucky at first, and what we were lucky, and we have not even accepted that fact that we were lucky. Because how do you even interact? Most times some people will be like, or I will be like, will be imagine more. Yeah, greetings. How are you, sir? Is this sir? Yeah, it's sir. How are you, sir? Nothing happened. We're teaching. We're elaborating on the matter that is life after school. And we're more like teaching students what it really means, what to expect, what should prepare for, what is awaiting them, what it holds, and for them to make appropriate preparations in order to navigate, so in order not to be a victim. All right. Yeah. Oh, my bad. Then who are you? What are you? What should I call you? Okay, best to, or let's just say, okay to call my boss. Yes, if you're a boy, boss can go. If I'm not mistaken, it can go. Okay, well, let's say, well, I call my boss John. How do you see it? My boss John. It's not bad. Is it bad? Not bad. I don't win. Not bad. Hmm. I don't win. My God. All right. So, should you proceed? Give me permission. Should you proceed? Just tell me yes, I'll proceed. Tell me yes, I'll proceed. Should you proceed? It's left for you. It's left for you. I'm just kidding. Okay. So, just okay. Thanks very much. Okay, let's proceed. I already hammering on the marshal that said, oh, that is more like our pillar. What we're already hammering on. And okay, just more like our pillar. And every section stream is really pointing towards that. What is that? The brutal truth, life after school. Are you ready, students? So it's more like the pillar. And this is every section stream was doing is just more like the children pointing towards it and guiding students or shaping or like bringing their gaze towards it. So that is it. And under that, today's session stream, maybe for the sake of people that are just joining, 10 mistakes Nigerian students must avoid. That is what we're really hammering on. And we're more like on the fifth one. Okay, ignoring networking opportunity. Now, at first, networking opportunity we mean, and if we're referring to students, is not normal internet network. No, it's about networking. And if we're talking about networking, most people still don't get it. Let me break it down. Networking we mean is the ability to interact, get things to do with people, connect with people, do business with people, collaborate with people. Sorry guys, collaborate with people. Get I don't just know, like it's just more like people. Do you get? At first you a being, every being is expected to associate with as well a being. So if we're really talking about if sorry, that's networking if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if we're really talking about ignoring networking opportunity, that's the top stuff here. Ignoring networking opportunity, and we're really saying that a lot of youth students are really isolating themselves. A lot of them don't even feel or think that it's necessary to interact with people, and it's very wrong. It's wrong in the sense of you're expected to interact with people. Networking is good. It creates a room or an avenue to collaborate with people, to do business with people, to get to meet wiser people, to collaborate with. Okay, just like an example, you get to meet good lecturers or ambitious students, people that are wiser and greater than you, to actually gain more knowledge. So this is more of networking, and he said that most times is necessary in real life because most people you're going to be meeting, most people that you're going to be networking, maybe in your school times, most of them in real life may be employers, most of them may be business collaborators, most of them may be I don't know, you may have some things to do with most of them. So it's very necessary that we don't neglect the matter of networking. It's very important, and I think what's it called, communication skill is part of it, and it's what really helps it. Now it's just the ability of you, and a lot of people, students specifically, lack these skills. It's very simple, and I says everything here was showing is an information and it's a skill. You ought and you're expected to build it. Now building it is going to help you. Communication skill, ability to communicate efficiently and effectively, and receiving a response, that's a feedback, if an evidence of a good communication. Now most people cannot even associate with people, and it's really a problem in real life because you cannot start learning it then, and by then it's more like leaks. And I said is a skill you really need to build now. So that is more like a skill, life skill, best to say. Okay, so got that. All right, so okay, we still have more. Our session is still on. Okay, not thinking about life after school. There is a session stream we did. We talked about two types of students: builder student and builders, yes, and the destroyers. Yes, we talked about builders and destroyers, and people were like, "Who is the builders? Who is the destroyer?" We break it down. We're like, the builders are people, students that are serious, students that are intentional, that are ready, that are anxious and serious. It's just more like being intentional about their future. And most times those type of students called builders really make solid plans early. Most of them started second year in school thinking about life. What does the future hold? What is at first most of them will be like, what am I studying? Is it really relevant? At first most of them, they start making critical decisions from choosing a career, because that is actually it. For the fact that you choose a career, that means you really love it, and maybe you're going to end with that tomorrow. So they actually choose a career. Mind you, most careers, there is another session with the titled or some students are really preparing for work that may not easy. That fact, the fact is or most times, or let's just say many of our organizations, machines are taking over. Automated machines, AI are taking most of human, or what's it called, employment or whatever. Like most machines are really taking over of humans work. Do you get? So it's very good and okay to make some research, know if the kind or the discipline or career that you're choosing is really diminishing or growing. So on that effects is going to help you in choosing the right one. And even in choosing the right one, that is, or you're not a builder student. Okay, a builder student, you're going to really know how to fix your future. How to fix your future, I mean, you're in 200 level, you have started making plans. What skills does my work requires? What skill will I need to execute this my career well? What knowledge do I need to get advanced in? I've seen, so this is more like making a lot of research. You're not just reluctant, you're just intentional. Intentionality is just the emphasis, and that's more like build out. And in other hand, destroyers, people that feels that university is a relaxation stage. Most of them party all day, go for events, and don't even know the main purpose. And most of them have misplaced their priorities and purpose why they were actually there. I've seen, so this is more like a wrong and a no stuff, and is always not coming out well. Most of them have replaced their priorities, and there is this saying that enjoy university life, and but don't make enjoyment be your priority. There is a purpose why you came at first, so don't misplace that priority, don't misplace that goal and that target. So that is more like that. And destroyers always do that. They prioritize other things, they prioritize comfort, they prioritize whatever than the main purpose that they were actually there. So it's actually wrong, and we don't want that. So that's for that. And we really have stuff again. We have some stuff. Okay, the mistakes, okay, the result and all that. Okay, again, depending completely on parents, the mistake, depending completely on parents, depending completely on parents is wrong. Now this is, there is this session stream we did as well. We titled it life transition shock after graduation. Now what we were trying to explain to students that there is this shock after graduation, and what is leading us to that is dependent on parents alone. Now that transition is just like when you're still in school, you're being funded, uh you're being catered for, you're being giving pocket money allowances, you're being sponsored, that's the emphasis, by family, friends and relatives. Now that shock is when you have graduated, you're going to notice that all of those things are going to be reduced, if not stopping totally. A lot of things are going to change. You're not being guided again. That school calendar or whatever is faded out. You're probably in another different phase of life. You're experiencing new things. And when you were not able to prepare it, then you're really going to face a lot of problems now, because it's really a shock. It's very, very real. You're going to notice that you're more like living independently, you're more like figuring things out by yourself, you're more like funding, taking care of your bills. So it's going to dawn on you that you're an adult, and it's really a shock. If you don't prepare for it, it comes with a big shock. And I don't know, but that is not what we want to like. Students should just know that it's not always funny outside there, and talking or relating with that, they should make preparations in order not to be a victim of it. So that's the FX6. Okay guys, so we still have some stuff here. I said depending completely on parents, and most times they may feel, and this is still why you see most students, maybe when they are done, they are going to return to their parents' house, they are going to be like, I've trained you, but what are you studying here? And graduation, they said, comes with a lot of expectations. Parents are going to be like, oh, you have graduated, why are you not feeding yourself? Have you seen all of those stuff? And they will be like, when are you starting work? Have your degree have not started paying? All of those stuff, when are you going to start earning? It comes with a lot of expectations and a lot of eye looking. Do you get? So you just ought to prepare, you just ought to be ready for it, you just ought to. And being all of this is just being competent, mentally and emotional, because a lot of things is going to test your patience, a lot of things is going to test your or reasoning, how you can handle pressure, how you can solve things, how you can withstand problems from every corner. So you just need to be strong and ready and developed. Have you seen? So this is just more like the skills that really that you're probably going to be navigating with. Okay, okay, whatever. We're still proceeding. We're still proceeding. We have again. Okay. Now entering distracting. Okay, entering distracting relationships. Now I don't know to who it may concern now, but there is a lesson there. Entering distracting relationships. Okay, this is actually wrong. They said many people get exhausted or distracted because of some toxic relationship that they enter, and this mostly for you just ought to know what to do, and you just ought to know something that is good for you. So and this thing had a lot of effects. It's going to affect you psychologically, academically. Relationships you're talking about here, a lot of students feels because of toxic relationships, a lot of students feels because of grammars and all of those things. So and all these things is said to has effects psychologically. It's going to affect your mental, you're not going to be reasoning well, and it as well can affect your grades. I've seen it. So you ought to cause all these things by the side. You ought to, because they are not the priority, they are not the main goals. Also you just, and any relationships has to be growth oriented. If you're not growing on it, it needs to be cut off. Do you get? So that is the advice there and the emphasis. Okay, still we just have few things to round up. Okay. Not developing for right mind. Okay, not developing the right mind. Not developing the right mind. Now, as we said, your mind is where everything lies. How you developed or how your mind is placed, how you shaped, how is placed determines how you work things out, determines how you see and handle things. So, developing mind was trying to bring to students is for them to know that university is more like a training ground, place to build, crucial stage of one's and adult life to never play away with. You should always know that you should utilize every single opportunity, and as well time is equal to money. The way you won't love to spend your time, sorry, money on things that are not relevant, you shouldn't while away your time. You should always learn to equate time with money. And it's from, if you see it from that view, if you see time as equivalent to money, it's going to help you in minimizing and utilizing your time. So university is a training ground. Have it in your mind. You ought to build foundations, you ought to lay things ground, you ought to connect with people, potential people, you ought to, like, I don't know, there is a lot to all. So it's just beyond collecting certificates, it's just beyond studying 4 5 years and getting out. So it's just more like it trains you, it determines your future, and it determines whether you win or lose. So it has a lot to impart in you. So there is a lot to undergo, and there is a lot to get in touch during those process. So don't just see it as a place to while away time and take out results and go away. It has part of your future, whatever it determines there. What you're going to become, it starts from there. So it's more like your daily routine silently determine your future. So what you're probably doing, things you're doing is really going to show, is silently determining your future. So it's just a training ground. Get to know and get to help yourself. Let me just put it that way, because we love you. So get to help yourself, because, and as well he said that is a very crucial stage of one's life. You can equally start off something. Starting off something will mean more likely something skills and maybe small business and all of that. So and it creates more room, it creates more opportunity, because you're going to be opportunity to meet young adult like you and maybe get to connect and maybe get to advance. So you can equally build an empire during your schooling time. So there is a lot to hammer on, and there is a lot to expose students to. So it's more like a crucial stage, get that, and not or a relaxation, because just like suffer and enjoy later, you ought to work hard, you ought to be. And what really determines success is hard work, consistency and resilience. Like that is just really, it's not just certificates. So emphasis hammered. Okay, we still have, I think, one more stuff or two. Okay, off. All right. So waiting until graduation to start. This is actually a trap. This is when you teach to people that say school is stressful. I will not start thinking about life now. It will stress me more. It's not making sense, bro. You should start. I just that's explain that, but the emphasis there is just for you to start, because there's no best time to start. People don't know this. There's no best time to start anything. So just start. And we said this is the wrong mindset. People are saying, or people think that, oh, okay, not the okay, we say waiting until graduation to start. A lot of people feel that they are still small to start up something that they don't cannot run it. Most of them think and feel, when I graduate, when I'm done, I will think about life. Most times it's not always working like that. Mind you, you cannot just get to a war front and start preparing for war. You also prepare for that before getting to the workforce. So it's the equivalent to life after school. You also just prepare for it while you're still in school, so as to help you, not be to be like to help you really navigate well. That's the first thing, to help you really navigate well, because there's a lot of what's it called, loopholes, and there's a lot of circumstances out there. So the emphasis is start early. And this mindset really affects some people. This is still why you see a lot of people blaming themselves. Most of them will be like, had it been I started second year, had it been I started this business, had it been what? So it's really late then. And maybe that's when they are faced to reality. Obviously it's really painful, like it pains, because that is stress out there. Yes, resources and money, and you're still going to be stuck. It's not always funny. We want all these stream sections tutorials to get to our youth out there, our students. Most of them don't know this, and most of them don't even think that is necessary and important. Have you seen? So by, if they should ride on that ignorance alone, it's going to really lead them to problem. So that is it. We still have I think one more. Okay, I think that's the last is waiting until graduation to start. We said is wrong. It makes you, that's more like procrastination unknowingly to them, and it's going to make them not think that it's necessary to build. And we said it's a returning ground, so you ought to build up something, you ought to develop yourself, you ought to be competent in many ways, even your area of discipline or your area of career. Actually, so the emphasis of development in the lives of young adults, graduated students, university students, cannot be overemphasized, because when you're not growing on something, you're probably dying on that. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not learning, you're diminishing. I don't know. So this is equivalent to a skill. If you're not learning, if you're learning a skill and maybe it gets to a point you stop, you're going to start falling on that. I mean, you're going to start losing the knowledge. Obviously, so this is equal to life and school. When you stop developing yourself, and mind you, it gets to a point, as we said, certificate is going to be dropped. It's not longer going to be relevant. What is going to be relevant is your innate abilities, what you really have, what you can give out, things you can actually create and solve. So you just ought to build it now. That's the emphasis. And okay, I think that's the last topic stuff. Sorry guys. So what else? Okay, more like powerful closing quotes. Powerful closing quotes, we mean, or like more like an advice. Training ground, get it. A place to actually work things out, get it. A place not to feel reluctant and feel relaxed, got it. A place to build up network, a place to build up structures, got it as well. So there's a lot to got, and there is a lot to implement. So that is it, and this is why we're making this session, and to help you navigate. And it's going to really help you. I mean it, I'm being real. It's going to really help you. And if you practicalize all these things, if it gets to our number of students, we're going to have less frustrated students out there, because the fact that the government is not going to be employing everybody, even when the best government comes, it cannot still employ everybody. Even when the best government comes, it cannot still employ everybody. So a lot of students don't even know this yet, so they are still having a mind of traditional work, I mean government work, office work, and most of them are going to be disappointed, which is very painful. And being that if you don't have business, if you don't have anything, they're going to be stranded. I have seen the facts. So it's beyond, network is not even asking you whether you have a good certificate. So it's just as simple as that. When you are not able to be employed, and if you don't have any other thing to sustain yourself with, that is frustration knocking at the door, and it's not always funny. So it's really pains and it kills morale, and that is something that we don't want to more. And that's the essence of the stream section topic. So that's for that. And as we said, today's topic of exhausted it. Thanks everyone that joined this section stream. UF really regards that much, regards that. I really appreciate the fact people that joined, people that participated, people that were taken to join, people that tried joining. Everybody appreciate the fact, and thanks one more time for joining the live session. And we'll see you tomorrow. So we'll stream every day on YouTube and get to join us and inculcate with knowledge. All right, so that guys, and that, or you may as sure follow us in our other social media handles: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, UFGRAPHICS, and grow together. And you can as well refer your friends, people you need, people you think that needs this lesson, your family members, people that are ready to learn. Do you get? So you can equally refer our links, share our videos, refer our names to them to actually get to learn and grow together. So then that's for that. Thanks for joining the session stream. Thanks much, and we'll see you tomorrow, probably our next streaming section. Thanks guys, and I appreciate the fact you joined. Everybody that joined. I appreciate the fact. Alright, go. Okay. So we're going to more like going offline at the moment. Thanks for